Hi everybody, Miss C here, about to go through your 3.2.3 geometry lesson. This is going to be kind of more so review than it is anything new, but we're going to go over triangle similarity, where we choose if triangles are similar by angle or by side. And we'll also do some problems where we use that information to actually go through and solve for missing side or angles. So let's go ahead and head to slide 5 of the Jamboard. So you can follow along with this if you want and write on your own. You could do like a split screen where you have mine up along with yours, or you can just watch. So the directions say decide if each pair of triangles below is similar. Use a flow chart. Remember, it's just kind of an organized way for us to think, to organize your facts and conclusions for each pair of triangles. So when I look at this, I do see some side lengths and I see some angle pairs. So let's just list what we have before we decide angle or side. Okay, I see one tick mark here and one tick mark here. So I know angle A is equal to angle D. And that's kind of my first thought bubble, my first piece of evidence. I also see two tick marks on the arc for B and on the arc for E. So I also have angle B is equal to angle E. Okay, now I could stop because I did just find one of my similarity theorems. So I could say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Let's see, A matches with D, B matches with E, so the order matters for those, by AA similarity. Okay. If I wanted to look at these side lengths that were still given, I could have checked for SAS, but notice here, I have no more side lengths. Okay, so SAS wouldn't have been able to been accomplished because we would have been missing one of the side pairs. So we had to use angle here. Let's go try a few more. So it's the same directions using flowchart to show what we have. So in 71, notice there that I have a right angle that's shown this time. So angle L is equal to angle H because they are both equal to 90 degrees. Excuse me. Sorry, that was loud. All right. So from here, I have no other angle pairs. So because I only found one angle pair, I'm still missing one more. So I will not be able to use angle. I do have side lengths. If you look at the road map here, I have the side, angle, and side angle, and side here. So I can check for SAS. Okay. So I can check for SAS, which I already found my angle pair. So I need to check my two side lengths. So right here, side, let me get a new color. Side HG, so that smaller side, okay, the 12 is corresponding to the small side length in the other triangle, so LK, which is 9. Okay, if I get a zoom factor for those, or if you reduce the fraction, remember you can math frac these, it's 4/3 or 1.3 repeating. Okay, so I have to go and check that that other side length is the same. So the 16 and 12. So if I math frac 16 over 12, okay, it is equal to 4/3. Or if you got the decimal, it's that 1.3 repeating. So these match. Okay, and I have my angle pair. So these are proving that yes, triangle IHG is similar to triangle JLK. And I know that by the side angle side similarity theorem. Okay, and again, make sure your letters match. So I already knew that L and H were matching. Okay, and then I also knew that HG was similar to LK, which meant the I and the J were the only matching letters that I needed still. So use that information that you've stated in your flowchart to help you write your similarity statement. All right, for the last one, well, let's look at this. I have angle, angle, or side, angle, side. Well, I have some side lengths, but I have no angles. Okay, so for right now, I don't have enough information to be able to say they're similar. So we say not similar. All right, and last one like this is one of those nested triangles or a triangle within a triangle. So let's do this. Let's redraw the triangles. So here's a small one here. This side length is 5. This side length is 9. And I have this angle with one arc here. And the letters are M, S, N. Okay, this bigger triangle, let's do it in blue. Okay, this has, well, let's see, that here. This side was broken up into 2.5 and 9, so I could combine, okay, which means I have to add 2.5 and 9 to get that side as 11.5. So can I go do that on the other side here? Can I add these two chunks? Well, no, I'm missing part of that. Well, okay. So we've labeled as much as we can. Let's label the letters, the vertices, V, T, and M. Okay, it's not marked, but this letter M is the same exact angle. You use it in the small triangle and you use it in the large triangle. So we can mark this and say that this is a second angle pair. Okay, so if I have two angle pairs, I have that angle S and V that was already marked. And now I have this M and M, like the candies. Okay, they're the same angle. I drew it the same in both triangles. So that's my second angle pair, which means I can say that triangle MNS, and again, you don't have to do that order, but you do have to make sure the letters match, is similar to triangle MTV by AA similarity. Okay, so that's kind of the first half of the lesson. The last half is going to be solving for missing sides now that we know which ones are similar, which ones are not. So let's go try this picture here. So we've already proven that these two triangles are similar. This was back on slide 5. So we've proven that they're similar. So we know the angles match. And we know that the sides are proportional. Oops. Okay, so there's some number that we multiply by to get to that side. So they want us to find BC. Okay. So let's set up and try to solve for BC. So notice that AB Okay, in between the 1 and 2 tick mark is corresponding to 42. Okay, so 42 and 12 others corresponding sides, which means that question mark, so BC, so from the 2 tick mark to the empty, so from the 2 tick mark to the empty is equal to that 38. So a few ways you can see this here. Some of you might think, well, to go from 12 to 42, I have to times by 3.5. Or if I did 42 divided by 3.5, that would give me 12. So I could take 38 and divide by 3.5, okay, which would give me, ooh, kind of a gross number, 10 point, we'll just round up to 9, 10.9. And you also could cross multiply. 12 times 38 equals 42 times question mark. Solve for question mark by dividing by 42. So if you typed 12 times 38 divided by 42 in your calculator, it would still give you that 10.9. All right, let's go to the next one, AC. So that's that bottom side that they want. So same thing, you could keep this 42 over 12 and fill in question mark and its corresponding side, which is FD. Ah! There's nothing there. You can't have 2 question marks in an equation. Okay, so there's not enough info here for us to solve for that other side. Okay, so this one we found because the corresponding side was there. This one we couldn't because the corresponding side was not given. So let's try. This will probably be our last one here. So VT. So again, we should maybe redraw these. We know they're similar and we're just dealing with sides. Okay, so that small one here was 9 and 5. And then the large one was, what was that, 11.5. And then we didn't have anything else. Okay, we knew that this angle was the same as it was here. And we should probably put the vertices on. Oops, that should be an S. So we have S, M, and N, and then we have M again because it's the same, T and V. Okay, and again, it's just easier to see those triangles if you draw them out separately. That one was not really drawn to scale. You should draw it better than me. So we need to find VT. So the length we're looking for is right here. Okay, do we have its corresponding side? I remember VT, you could go back to your similarity statement. VT is the same as NS. Okay, so here is its corresponding side. So 5 over question mark, and then we need that other scale factor that's made up of just numbers. Okay, so SM and VM both have numbers, so we can use that as our scale factor. Again, you could look for a zoom factor, but I'm just going to do the cross multiplication here. So 9 times question mark equals 5 times 11.5. Okay. So 5 times 11.5 is 57 and a half. And if I want to solve for question mark here, I need to divide by 9. So that gets me an answer of about 6 points. We'll just round up to 4. Okay, so 6.4 here. Oh, and I should have been putting on, I just saw it, this 11, this goes on the bottom here. I think I missed that in the other triangle, but we didn't need it until right now. So, okay, so CVT is solved for. That's 6.4. And there's no unit, so we'll just leave it as 6.4. The next one we're going to find is TN, Ooh, so if you look at your little triangles, I don't see that anywhere. But if I go and look on my big picture, Tn is that little chunk in between. So a couple ways you could do this. The first is we could find this side here. Okay, we could get this entire length Tm. Think about it, we need this small chunk, and we already know that the rest of that is 11. Okay, so if we find that big side, we can just subtract off 11 to find the measure of Tn. Okay, so let's try that way. We can still use the 9 and 11.5. Okay, which means 11 and question mark are going to be the other side of our proportion here, other side of our equation. 11 needs to go on top. Remember, we're keeping the small shape on top, the big on the bottom, and then question mark on the bottom. Sometimes when there's not a nice zoom factor, you will have to do cross multiplication. So make sure you understand how to do cross multiplication. Okay, and I could type that whole thing into my calculator, 11.5 times 11 and divide by 9. So that big side is equal to about 14, we'll just say 0.1. So if this whole thing is 14.1, I need to subtract off the 11 to get Tn. So Tn is equal to about 3.1 units. Okay, so the lesson is done. You had your first half of are they similar, are they not? Okay, and then those same pictures we used to find some missing lengths. Just notice on the shape that we found first that was not similar, we didn't go back and find anything because they're not similar. We can't do that. So that's why this came first. If they're similar, then we can go through and find those missing lengths. Okay? So go ahead and head to the quizzes for your review preview and some extra